What's going on, everybody? My name's Calvin.
My name's Angelo.
We are the Vision Twins, and we lost combined 300 pounds.
Now it's our life mission to show the entire world how to do
The same thing. In this video, we are going deep inside of the minds of twins who've lost over 300 pounds combined, but most importantly, have kept it off, and the reason why we are never going to be the same again. Let's jump right into the video. So, speaking to our weight loss journey, Angelo, and where we started, I don't know, we could take this either two ways, where I started or where you started, and what the main motivation was. We can hand it off either way you want to go.
So I think what we'll start off with is who we were before we lost weight, because I think a lot of people kind of get it misconstrued of like we might have been skinny, then got fat, and then ended up losing weight again, or we just were fat our entire lives, and really that's where it actually started off with. So we started off as just the fat kids always the biggest people inside of the room. You know, in class growing up, I'd always like judge myself by analyzing everybody else and like hoping I wasn't the fattest person there. And I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with that as they go into the workplace now as they're adults. They've been struggling with this fat identity for so long. And once we turned, 17, 18, that's when we started to realize that, you know, being big isn't necessary outside of like sports, because we played football. And so we were always told to be the fat guys, but be the big offensive lineman.
Eat as much as you can.
Eat as much as you can. Being big is beneficial, like it has its perks and everything. But then, you know, once the football season was over, we realized like, dude, we're just stuck being fat. Like there's nothing beneficial about this. There's nothing fun about this. Like all the insecurities that come with it, the self-conscious thoughts, the judging yourself and just not being able to live a healthy lifestyle. Always just not feeling energized throughout the day, just all these different things that come with being obese. And that's what we felt. And so as we got older, we realized, okay, like this is not beneficial. There's no utility to this outside of sports. And once we realized we weren't going pro with, I'm sure a lot of people realize they're not going to go pro playing football, that there's no point in being big. And so that's where we really started our weight loss journey. Calvin obviously started first. Maybe you could tell people how you got started, and then I can segue off that.
Hell yeah. So that's actually crazy, the point that you brought up of adults being overweight or being fat as an adult. Like, that's just something me personally, I could never take. I was never going to be okay with being a fat adult. Even to this day, like there's no way. From 17 years old till 26 years old now, I knew that I was not going to be a fat adult. And so what really sparked my weight loss journey was I was 17 years old and I had gotten a job doing landscaping with one of my football buddies. And this was my first time ever making money in my life. First time ever having like a job where it was serious. Like I had to show up on my own time. It wasn't like family work. This was me going out of my way to build myself.
And your actions determine the results that you got.
Yeah, that was like the first time I really ever experienced that outside of like sports. And so at this job, we were working for this old lady at this retirement home. And so it was a normal home in Santee, California. And I was back there during the summer, so from my junior year of high school to my senior year. And we're back there, and we're taking lunch breaks. Like I'm smoking at the time. I'm doing just a lot of like the teenager stuff. And at this job, so I was in the back with my buddy Dylan, and he had kind of been working here for a little bit already, and he brought me in during the summer period. And we're inside of this 15 by 15 foot pond in the backyard. And
Dylan's a fat guy too.
Dylan's pretty fat. He was a lineman, and he was older than me. And me and Angelo have always ran with guys who are older than us. I mean, like even dating. Like I never liked dating like a younger girl unless it was just like a one night thing. But if it was like serious, I was always gonna go for more mature, and not even like. I guess like you have to have a mature mindset. I guess the age doesn't really matter, but you can mostly find that in older people. But there are a lot of younger people who have a mature mindset, like our little cousin Donald. He's 20.
We're chasing rabbits.
I know. I'm kind of chasing rabbits, but I'm just speaking on the story.
So you're digging the pond.
I'm digging the 15 by 15 foot pond, and I'm sitting there. I'm 330 pounds at this time, and I will never forget this day. It was July 23rd, 2016, and I'm digging this pond. I'm looking up at the sun with the shovel in my hand. And I remember stopping for a moment and thinking, I wonder what I could look like by the time I graduate high school. And so from that moment on, anything I did in that job, whether it was taking out the trash, carrying cinder blocks, or digging this 15 by 15 foot pond, I turned it into a workout. And over the course of a month and a half, I had lost like 40, 45 pounds. And once we got back to school that summer, everybody had noticed a crazy difference from me. Like going from 330 pounds to like 285
Yeah.
in between summer break is insane.
Yeah, massive difference. I can only imagine how cool it felt to, like, for people to like say that about you, because I didn't get that.
Yeah, it was fucking sick.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is that Calvin actually started his weight loss journey first, just on a moment from God, looking up at the sun and just like getting started. And for me, I was still stuck in my ways. I was still stuck really just being a negative person. And I think a lot of people that are overweight don't even realize it, but they have a lot of internalized beliefs that are not positive about themselves, especially on their capabilities, right? And so the capabilities that I thought were just impossible for us was to lose weight. Like, fuck, we're the fat guys. Like, this is who we are. We eat a lot of food. We're known as the big guys. Like, that's just our identity. But seeing Calvin change, my dad always told us growing up, like, if he could do something, I could do something. If Calvin can skateboard, I can skateboard. If he can do this, I can do this. If I can do this, he can do that. Like, it was always this, like, if he can do it, why can't you do it? And in that moment, I, like, kind of got smacked in the face, like, holy fuck, like, I really am just being pessimistic and holding myself back with my thoughts. I'm not taking action like he is. I'm not going to the gym. I thought him going to the gym at nighttime or, like, working out in home was pointless. It was like, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to actually lose weight from working out. You're not going to actually lose weight by cutting out the junk food. And he did it. And he started losing weight. And so I was like, okay, damn, like, I actually have to start doing this. Because, like, what the fuck am I going to be sitting around being the fat guy? I was 350 pounds. He was 285. You can imagine that, like, all the guys and everybody's like, dude, why are you still fat? Like, your brother's so much slimmer than you. Like, he's now not even the fattest person in our grade. Like, and I was like, damn, like, am I one of the two fattest people in the fucking school? Like, hell no, there's no way. So then I started working out. I started just, like, realizing, hey, football season's over. Like, I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to go start working out. I'm going to do my workouts from home. And then also, once we got done with that, I started losing weight really quick. Football season's done. Let's go hard. Let's go to the gym now. Lost about 60 pounds from November of 2016 till January of 2017. It was right around our birthday. I was like, damn, like, I'm actually doing this. Like, I can fucking do this. Like, I'm that guy. I know I can. I know who I can be. And I just never looked back. And it's interesting to me how a lot of people, they see results on their weight loss journey and then they fuck it up. Like, they go and fuck it up by eating a bunch of bullshit. They think they earned something. You think you, like, deserve to eat an unhealthy meal, like a whole box of pizza, and that's not gonna fuck you up. Like, for me, I knew all those bad decisions in the past were the reason why I was fat. So, like, going back and doing it again just to, like, be tempted or, like, be, like, persuaded to eat something unhealthy, it just, you couldn't get to me. At that point, I was so laser focused that I had never lost weight in my life. I'm not going to lose this. Like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to gain this weight back. And so from 2017 till the end of 2018, I think I lost another 100 pounds that year. And then
Yeah, you went crazy. Well, from, like, January 2017 till the end of 2017,
Yeah.
you had gotten down to like
230 maybe, 240, something.
You lost over 100 pounds.
I lost over 100 pounds in a year. And then going into 2018, I started noticing that I was getting recognized by women.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Siri will cut that out.
Hey Siri, stop.
I started noticing that I was getting recognized by women. And that was a big driving force, especially for a lot of guys out there, or just women in general. Like, you're being attracted to the opposite sex. Something I had never felt in my entire life. I was always looked over, always seen as, like, the big guy who can only get the big girls. And, like, I never wanted to be that guy that was in a relationship with another big girl, because I knew that we were okay with being fat. And deep down, I just was never okay with it, but I settled for it.
And that's crazy because I see a lot of guys who are adults, like, who are around our age or even older, who you can tell that if they had just lost weight, they wouldn't be with their partner that they're with now. Like, they will have a huge partner. Like, I saw this guy when we went to Gilbert, downtown Gilbert the other night. He's probably like 350, 360. That big light-skinned dude over in the, like, to the next of us.
Okay.
And he had, like, this big white girl with him. I'm like, if he had lost all that weight, that version of the woman in front of him would be different, or like the woman in front of him would be different, like no doubt.
Yeah, it's just
because
the
bigger
birds-
people just settle for each other, and it's like
it's birds of this feather flock together. So like
Yeah.
you're gonna be attracted to people that are also like you, and you don't even realize it, but subconsciously like there's a part of you that matches a part of them, and that's why you guys are attracted to each other. And so that's why you see a lot of people that are bigger also in relationships with other big people. Same reason why you see a lot of skinnier people in relationships with other skinny people. It's just the birds of a feather flock together. And so back to the story of Calvin had lost weight, I ended up losing weight, and then from that moment on, I finally achieved something in my life that like I thought was impossible, and there was no going back. I find it very crazy that people can see results and go back to their old way of living.
I think
just
about
doesn't
that.
make sense.
I think about that every single day, and I'm like, something literally catastrophic would have to happen to me physically in order for me to not do that. And I did have something catastrophic happen. I tore my ACL, and I tore my ACL about 2 years ago now. Had the surgery, and I remember after my surgery, I was praying to God. I was like, God, if you can get me through this, I will not let this go to waste. And so that was just an extra layer of motivation for me till this day of the promise that I kept 2 years ago. That it's like, yes, I still lost all the weight. I tore my ACL playing pickup basketball, and I've felt my legs get taken away from me. Like I wasn't able to walk for months, like 2-3 months, rehab, just so much fucking pain in my knee that I was just like, God, if like you can seriously get me through this, I will not waste this. I will go as hard as I can. I will make the most of my physical capabilities. And that's what I'm doing to this day. Like I have to keep that promise because I never want to feel that pain again of tearing my ACL and then having to like
not being physically capable.
Yeah, not being physically capable. And it's crazy because seeing people out in the world who aren't making the most of their physical capabilities. Like I'll be at the gym running on the treadmill and I'll see somebody pull up in a freaking wheelchair, and I'm like, man, like I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like, and that person would give anything to be able to do what I'm doing right now. And so what a waste it would be of my physical body to not give the most that I can on this workout right now, and to leave it all on the treadmill, to leave it all on the cardio machine, to just give everything I have.
Go in,
because
man.
there's a person who literally can't do it, who can't even move their feet, has never ran a day in their life. And I know how amazing it feels to be able to do it, and I know what it feels like not to be able to do it. So when you can experience both of those feelings, you're not gonna ever want to go back to the worst version of yourself. And I want to go back to that point where you're talking about what we were talking about, bigger people who are together. And I just see, like, for instance, in the gym, and this is just real shit. Like, I see fat people all the time in the gym, and I saw this couple earlier, and I'm like, damn, that must be, their car must take on so much damage. Like, when they were both over 350 pounds,
Damn.
like, easily. And I'm like, that car must be dragging like fucking crazy. Like,
but the thing is, though, is that
holy
like the
shit.
fact that they're in the gym, like
Well, yeah,
everybody
they're
starts
there,
off
yeah.
at like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like
They're
you
there.
start
They're-
off at shit, right?
they're-
Like you
they're-
start
yeah.
off not shit in the beginning, always. And I think if I could go back and do this again, I would do it again, and this time I would do it even faster because I know what to do now to keep this weight off, like lose it quickly. And I think a lot of people go into the gym and like they think going in the gym is them losing weight, but there's a switch that you have to flip on inside of yourself in order to lose weight. Like
You have to get that breath where you're like,
yeah.
like where you're like catching your fucking breath, and you have to like, because I'll experience it too when I get into the gym and I'm like, it's a light day. If I ran 10 miles yesterday, so today I did like a lighter workout session, but I still got on the bike and I did my interval training, and that feeling of like getting your heart rate up and like having to catch your breath, like that's what losing weight is. It's not when you're just like doing a few lifts and then you just walk out and then you're done. Like you have to get that heart rate up. Like you have to feel that like you gotta sweat. You gotta get that shit moving. And like you're saying, just going into the gym isn't necessarily working out or losing weight. Like if you're trying to lose weight fast, don't waste your time by going into the gym and lifting a bunch of weights, because number one, you're not gonna lose the weight. You're gonna be putting on more weight. You're putting on more muscle. But
That's gonna fuck
secondly,
with you when you look at the scale too.
you're going to look at the scale, you're not going to get the results that you want. So being able to go in there and have a singular focus of going on a cardio machine and hitting that for 60 minutes, then you can be done. Like, you can actually be done with your workout for the day instead of going for 60 minutes, tossing around a few weights, looking at your time, playing on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, just get in there, go fucking hard, leave it all on the cardio machine, whether it's the elliptical or the treadmill. I hit the sauna after 60 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes, and you're done. Like, you don't have to worry about losing weight for the rest of the day. You already got it taken care of. Just go fucking hard when you're there. And then the rest of the day, like, if you have a sedentary job, if you sit behind a desk all day, you have to essentially do that to lose weight. Like, when we were younger, like 17, 18, we had pretty active lifestyles. Like, we had girls and parties and school and
Job, like a part-time job.
Part-time job, walking around work, storage facility. Like, we had the luxury of being able to move around a lot at our work or in our social life. But for most people, either their parents and they are in the house a lot, or they work at a desk job, they commute, driving in their car all day. They don't have the luxury of being able to move around that much and get those extra steps in and moving around their body. So there's no point in going into the gym and then essentially doing the same thing that you're doing at work of not getting your heart rate up and not doing any intense exercise.
Like, you know what you're doing, you're just not pushing yourself. And I think a lot of people get comfortable with, like, being themselves. And there's nothing wrong with, like, knowing your identity and who you are. Like, you're still a child of God at the end of the day. But you have a responsibility to take care of your physical health, even though you're busy with life and, like, even though you're comfortable with your personality and everything. You need to still, like, I guess I could just say exercise. Like, you still need to do something for your health, because that can get taken away very quickly. Like, that comfortable feeling that you have of, like, finally I feel good about myself, that can be taken away
very
the
quickly,
moment you lose your health as well. Then you're gonna be like, damn, I'm good with myself internally, but now that the fact that I'm, you know, on this bedside about to die, like, I'm not happy. And, like, you can have it all. You can be healthy, you can be happy with yourself, you can feel confident. And a lot of people might see healthy people and, like, hear us saying these things and take it the wrong way and say, like, they're just being pretentious, they're being whatever. It's just being confident in yourself at the end of the day. Being confident, knowing that, like, you put in the work on in the quiet times
when nobody's watching.
When nobody's watching.
When it's late at night.
I could show up on camera.
The discipline.
Or I could show up and meet somebody in public and not be nervous. I don't have to be self-conscious. I just know who I am based on the stuff that I've been doing prior to meeting you, or prior to even jumping on this call or jumping on this camera right now. Those are the things that a lot of people want to have, and it's integrity, it's being good with yourself, because you know you're doing the right thing. And remember, like, there's nothing you're doing in private right now that's not going to show up in public. No matter how much food you think you're ordering from DoorDash, or you're going through the drive-thru after you said that you're starting this weight loss journey, you're doing that, it's going to show up again. Like, there's no action that gets unseen. It's going to manifest in some shape or form. And you just have to be ready for that. You will feel it. You will feel it. People, your coworkers will notice it. Your partner will notice it. Your friends will notice it. They won't see you for 2 months. You come back and see them again. They're going to say something about it. They're going to say, damn, like, you got fat. They're going to say, damn, like, you're unhealthy. You don't look good. You look like a shell of yourself. And it comes back to your actions. The stuff that you thought you were doing in private, they showed up. And so remember that. Like, you can turn the coin, though, and do it the positive direction. You can take a lot of time, like, really 3 months, to just dedicate yourself to getting healthy again. And then people will start noticing that. And then you're going to get more motivated because people are giving you compliments now. People are going to tell you look good. I know it sounds crazy because you probably have never felt that before, of, like, being complimented on how you're presenting yourself, but you can achieve that. You can see that, and it shows up in your job, like your part, like, who's going to get the promotion? The guy that's fat and can get the job done, or the guy that's healthy and can get the job done? What are they going to, like, be real, what are they going to give the opportunity to?
The person who genuinely takes care of themselves.
Yes.
And one thing that is very real that I've always learned from, especially my dad, is to never trust somebody who doesn't take care of themselves. And that's the absolute truth. If you can look at somebody and you can tell that they're shortcutting in their life some way, or they're cheating in some way, then just take what they say with a grain of salt.
They'll lie to you because they're lying to themselves.
They'll lie to you because they're lying to themselves. If somebody's fat and they're promising you things and they're promising that they can help you, if it comes to, like, your taxes or real estate or anything. You just have to like really look at that person. And yes, they can help you out in some areas. Like, I don't know everything. I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I understand that. And I can always learn. I'm learning every single day. But at the same time, just be cautious of who you're taking in information from, because if they're not taking care of themselves, it's very unlikely that they'll be able to take care of you to the way that you want them to. They don't have to wipe your ass. They don't have to cook you dinner, but it's like, okay, if they're not keeping their word to themselves in the way that they show up, how am I going to expect that they're going to show up in the best way for me? So being able to look at it from that way, and kind of moving into the topic of food. I think food is a super important topic, and I didn't really like going into thinking about fasting as a way to lose weight, and I feel like we've kind of not talked about it a lot, but I've been really diving into it more, especially with our clients, because it is important. And I like to say taking time away from food, but it's just a more complicated way of saying fasting. And fasting is so important, guys. Like, especially if you're not getting good sleep right now, right? Think about your life. Like, it's not just weight loss, but it's about life coaching as well. If you're binge eating food at 9 p.m., 10 o'clock at night, you're going to get terrible sleep that night. You're going to wake up still feeling the remnants of the food that you ate the day before, and you're not going to have the best day that you possibly can the next day because of the actions that you took 12, 16, 18 hours before. So if you can consciously and intentionally make good decisions with the way that you eat for one day, you're going to experience the benefits of those same actions the next day. You're going to notice it in the mirror. You're going to notice it in your energy. You're going to notice it in your improved quality of sleep. You're going to notice it in your improved focus. You're going to notice it in the way that your body feels overall, and your way to show up for others. And that just comes down to showing up for yourself in the ways that you eat and taking time away from food. So
yeah, people don't really understand, like, weight loss and losing weight is so easy. And I thought this way at 350 pounds. So I really can't like listen to you say it's easy for you to say, it's hard for me. Like, it's really not. You're just not committed. At the end of the day, it's so easy to not eat food. You know how to not overeat? You just say no. You literally just say no to food, or you get yourself out of the environment of the food. It's really simple. If you work from home, and I get this, and your refrigerator's right across, right down the hallway, and you can go and get something to eat every hour if you wanted to, just make it a rule that the kitchen is off limits. You just don't go into the kitchen unless it's for water or something to drink, but you don't go in there to eat. You don't go in there to snack. Like, just remove yourself from the environment of overconsumption. Even if if you already ate and it's very easy to go back and eat again in an hour or two, just say, I'm not going back. I'm just not going to eat again, or I'm not having seconds. You just eat your one meal and then you go away from the food. And then you lose weight. Like, it's really simple. It's just hard to execute because you give into those cravings, you give into those urges to go get something to eat, but just make it a rule that you don't go over there, or you just don't eat in general.
And it's about respect and love. And the thing is, when it comes down to weight loss, but specifically with the food, is you have to truly love the food that you're eating. And I noticed that's a big problem, because I faced it with myself, is not truly loving and respecting the food that I'm about to eat. Like, if you truly love and you truly respect the meal that you're about to put into your body, you're not going to abuse it by overindulging on it. The moment that you can look at a meal, look at a dinner plate in front of you, and truly respect and love the food, that's when you're going to start losing weight. You have to truly love it. Like,
and when
if you don't love it, love like you love your brother, love like you love your partner, your wife, your kids.
And what does this mean to love it? It means you have to look at it and understand what its value means to you, right? You have to attribute a value to the food that you're going to eat. That's why we say eat more protein, because it actually gives you a benefit of having muscle as you lose weight. But if you go and look at a bag of hot Funyuns or a hot Doritos, like, for example, for me, I look at that food and I don't love the Doritos. Why? because they don't do anything beneficial for me. Like, I'm not in the mindset of like eating this because it tastes good over purpose. I'm more in the mindset of eating over for purpose than I am for pleasure. And you have to attribute that meaning to the food that you're eating. So even if I want to eat ice cream, it has to be purposeful. It has to have protein in it. It has to have something that I can say, this was actually beneficial for me, rather than just me giving into my urges, because I've really cut myself off from giving into my urges. The more you give into your urges, the more destruction you have in your life. If that means for the food, if that means for, lustful eyes when you're in public and you have a partner, but you're looking at somebody because you have an urge to like look at them and look at them sexually, just understanding the fact that like if you give into your urges more than you give into the purpose that you were here for, you'll fuck up. You'll probably just really ruin your life. And that's why we make it a point to say like weight loss is about losing weight, yes, but what it does for you in your mind, what it does for you in your heart, what it does for you in your relationships, your career, it just enhances everything on top of that, because you are an intentional person and you are doing things for a purpose, not just for fucks for no reason. You're just fucking off everything. There's times and places to like have fun or whatever, but like I would say 96% of my life, 98% is straight purpose. And then there's 2% that I allow for me playing video games, or like for me watching a mindless YouTube video. At the end of the day, and that is just really, at the end of the day, like self-care for me, because I'm like, okay, I need to like take my mind off of things for a little bit, but it's only for an hour at night. It's not for 6 hours a day. It's not for, I'm not eating all day long because it tastes good. I only eat 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because I need to eat that food. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and with that comes down to truly loving like even the food, but then working out. Like if you don't love to do it, if there's 2 types of people, there's a person who hates working out, but they still go, or a person who truly loves exercising and truly loves feeling great and truly loves doing a hard-ass workout. Which of those 2 people do you feel like is going to get better results? And who do you feel like is going to get better results faster? The person who loves going and working out and loves demolishing a fucking workout and loves just putting their body through so much good pain. The second type of person is going to get way better results because they're not just doing it because they have to do it, or it feels like a chore, or I have to do this just to be healthy. I have to do this just to get my workout done, just so I can kind of feel better for the day.
And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, sometimes like you just have to. Like I experience that too. Like sometimes like I really just don't want to fucking work out, and there are times for rest. Your body, if you're working out all the time, like I have a heart rate monitor on my watch, and I look at my score for the day, and it tells me what my score is. Like if it's at a 10, I'm at peak performance. I can go race. I can go do anything. But if there are some days where I'm at like a fucking 0.2 or 0.0, and it's like, it says literally don't do anything. Take time to rest.
But back
which
to
is
the point,
good.
though.
But if you've been resting your entire life and you've never put yourself through a really hard experience of a workout, then you're not going to know what that type of score is. You're not going to feel your body asking you for rest because your body's been resting this entire time intentionally. You've just been not doing
and anything outside of resting feels like punishment. So, but back to the point of loving the workout, I think there's this quote that I heard, and it's like the person that loves the journey more than they love the destination will go way further than the person who just loves the destination.
Because they'll get to the destination and then they'll stop.
Yeah,
they'll get there and then they'll be like, oh, I got it. Okay, cool. And then that's why you see 90% of people who lose over 100 pounds gain it all back within a year.
Because they wanted the destination more than they wanted the transformation. And I love the transformation. I love going from a person who didn't know something to a person who knows something. A person who didn't have something to a person who does have something. And like that middle process, the distance is my favorite part, because you don't know when the outcome's gonna, you don't know when the destination's gonna show up around the corner, but you just have this belief that like from the beginning that you're gonna have it anyways. And so doing the action is just as good as having it. The having it part of it is just a little bit of, it's just the manifestation of all the work that you put in. I am no more than a 350 pound guy at heart, but I just know that I'm just the manifestation of the work that I put in. I'm just a manifestation of all those times that I didn't want to work out, and then I ended up convincing myself that I loved it just so I can get it done. I'm the person who looked at a bowl of ice cream and attributed a negative feeling towards it so I wouldn't eat it. I'm just that person in the flesh today. I could still go smash. Anybody can go eat fucking pizza and burgers. Anybody can have a whole unhealthy diet. Anybody can do that, but it's actually the person who like loves the journey and loves the control of themselves to say, no, I'm not going to do that. That gets to where they want to go, or yes, I'm going to do this so they can get to where they want to go. And that decision making, that journey is the best part about really life in general. From starting a business, I've still learned that, and I still feel that way. From going on a weight loss journey to pretty much every other area of my life. Not having something and then going through the process of becoming the person that can have it is everything to me. And that's what you guys should be striving for in your life, is not just to be comfortable with where you're at. Sure, where you're at is probably different from where you would have been, but like, where could you be if you stuck to the things you said you were going to do 2 to 3 years ago? And I understand it because we've been through it as well, but like, I'm coming out of that. I'm now becoming a person that's living off the manifestation of saying last year, I'm going to go all in this area, and I'm benefiting from it. I'm actually starting to see the benefits of it, and I don't want to stop here. I want to keep it going. Same thing for you, but this is about weight loss. Where would you be at today if 3 years ago you did what you said you were going to do? Starting, like, where would you be now? Where would you be at right now? If 3 years ago when you said you were going to start working out, you said you were going to eat healthier, how much would you weigh today? How much better would your life be now? Not saying it's bad, but how much better, enhanced could it be if you just stuck to what you said you were going to do?
And with how much better it could be, our mom always told us, and it really stuck with us when we started losing weight, is how much better can this get? And just living with that question in our mind is, how much better can it get from here? And anytime I finish a hard-ass workout, I ask myself, how much better could it get from here? Because no matter how great I feel in that moment and how on top of the world I feel, it's like, holy shit, I can still feel better. And that's why I love running marathons, because I'll get to like mile 14, or no, I'll be at mile 7, and I'll be like, holy shit, like I've learned so much in this past 7 miles. I'm like, okay, buddy, you got, do that 2.5 more times. I get to mile 15, I'm like, holy fuck. And then it's like, okay, now you got 11 miles. I'm like, holy shit, like it gets better. Like there's still more. Like there's still more after this. Like, yes, there's still more after 50 miles. You get to 22 miles. Holy fucking shit.
It gets better.
It gets better. You'll feel way more accomplished in 4 more miles. I'm at mile 25. Holy shit. Like my mind is exploding. Like,
I just came through this full journey.
Bro. Time traveling, and I get to mile 26.2. You're almost there. You're almost there, and then you get there, and it's like, holy shit! Like your mind just went through years of uncovering traumas and limiting beliefs and breaking through barriers and speed and decision making to keep going. Like that's what weight loss teaches you, and that's why me personally, kind of moving over to the topic of putting goals out in front of myself, is running marathons, because like as soon as I finish one, I'm like, holy fuck, I gotta do another one. Like I have to. Like it's just a calling. Like as soon as we help somebody lose weight, it's like, okay, there's another person. Like there's another person that needs help. Holy shit, there's millions of people who need to lose weight. Holy shit, we have millions of followers. Like, oh my god, it's just mind blowing, because there's so much room for improvement, and there's so much room to really just make this world a better place.
Praise Jesus.
And it starts internally, and it starts with you becoming a better person. When you look in the mirror, can you look at that person and say, I see exactly where I can go from here. I know exactly where I can get better. And then taking the steps to actually do it is where you feel like, the holy fuck, thank you, God. Like, thank you for this. Thank you.
And how do you get yourself to take the action you know you should, even though you know what you're about to do is going to be quote unquote painful? Is say this little mantra in your head. On the other side of fear is a miracle. On the other side of this fear that I'm facing, there's something that's going to make this all worth it. It's all going to come full circle, and it's all going to be 1,000 times better once I get through the other side. If I told you that if you just had to run 5 miles, you'd be like, fuck, I don't want to do that. But what if I told you at the end of the 5 miles that there's a pot of gold? Or make it even a little bit, on the negative side. If I told you that if you don't run this 5 miles, your family dies, are you going to get those 5 miles done?
And how fast would you get them done?
How fast would you get it done? I'd be done before you finish saying 5 miles. I'd already be there. And so whatever that positive benefit that you want to do on the other side of it, that can motivate you to take action. Or if it's a negative thing, if it's something that you don't want to have happen and you have to literally put yourself into this psychosis of like, if I don't do this, everybody in my family fucking dies, or like something crazy happens, you're going to start moving with urgency. You're going to start moving with purpose and start moving with like this fire inside you. And not enough people have that nowadays. Most people got comfortable because they're cell phones, they're distracted. What happened to all those dreams you had when you were a kid? Of like, when I get older, I'm going to become this. Once I get older, I'm going to achieve this. I want to be this someday. I want to be that someday. And like, just because you're in your 30s or 40s or, late 20s, like, doesn't mean that shit's gone. Doesn't mean that it's over. You could be in one whole position and then a year from now be in a totally different position. It really doesn't take long. And that's why we urge you to start your weight loss journey first, because once you accomplish that, you knock that thing out the way, everything else becomes fucking a breeze.
Yep.
Everything else is like, I just overcame the longest battle I've ever faced in my entire life. Longer than I can remember anything else. I've always remembered being the bigger person, or even in this last couple of years you gained weight. Like, this is the most recent battle I had, and you overcome that, and you know that you're never going back. You realize that the sky is the limit, or the sky is limitless for you. You can do anything. You just have to start taking action, move with purpose, move with a sense of urgency, and you'll get there faster than you can imagine.
That's facts. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning into the video. Hope you got a ton of value out of this.
You got to know a little bit more about us, and let us know if you guys want us to do more videos like this, just really uncovering like who we are as people, what we're working towards. But really, this channel is made for people that want to lose weight. We want to show you the inner depths of our mind and what it takes for us to go from 350 pounds, 340 pounds to 200 pounds and 190 where we are today. It's very possible. It just starts with taking action. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like this video. And if you guys have any questions, check out the description box. That is the link to our one-on-one coaching. If you want to get mentored and coached by us to lose your weight, we can help you do it. It's very simple. We just lay out a strategy for you, but it's up to you to start taking action. So the question is, would you want it now, or is it just not that important to you? We'll see you guys in the next video.